What is the difference between a good company and a great company? What makes a great company? There are lots of good companies, yet very few are great companies. Here's the short answer. They own their own economy. Let me explain. All too often, business owners will focus on one part of their business, not understanding that their business is a system. Some focus on having a great business plan with all kinds of feel-good meetings and measurements, which are micromanaged by more meetings and managers to track the measurements. Others will focus on employee production and efficiencies, micromanaging every step. Others will focus on increasing closing ratios, hoping to increase profits, yet have no idea what their overhead is or where they should be on price. Some will focus on budgets, forecasting, and cash flow with bean counters, who do not understand the difference between a productive employee and a non-productive employee, and have chased away the best employees by cutting costs and not looking at the whole picture as a system. Yet few will focus on all areas as a system, simply because they don't know that each part is benefiting the other part. A great company realizes this and knows how to make that system work together. Hello, my name is Arnie Reisman, author and trainer of ARBCO Coaching and Training. Unless you have been over the dark side, it's very hard to see the methodology of why this is so important in your business. Let me explain. I like to say there are 4 bubbles in your business. There's a financial bubble, there's a sales bubble, there's a vision bubble, and an employee bubble. When all 4 bubbles are solid, you own your own economy. Let's take a look at the first bubble. A strong company does not have bad debt. If you're carrying a balance on your credit cards to operate your business, or can only pay the minimum monthly payment, your bubble is very vulnerable, and there are red flags on the horizon. If you're running a line of credit and you can only make the interest payments, your financial bubble is on the verge of popping. If you carry loans on new vehicles, the stakes are very high that you can't afford the new vehicles. When a company accumulates debt for vehicles, it confirms that they have not implemented or allocated a vehicle replacement allowance in their budget. Simple math. If the vehicle replacement is not in your overhead, it's not being accounted for when you do the sale. When the time comes to replace the vehicle, there is no money to replace it. So you borrow the money, which in turn increases your overhead, and any profit you were hoping to make vanishes in thin air. If you're not running a bottom-up budget in your company, which allocates all the expenses, your cash flow is probably non-existent. If you're setting your prices on emotion rather than know what your overhead costs really are, the chances are very high you have cash flow issues. In fact, Dun & Bradstreet says 80% of small businesses suffer from cash flow problems. Let's look at your sales bubble. If you don't have a sales system which offers options like a best, better, good, your closing ratios could be much higher. Studies have shown that when you offer only one option, your clients will look to your competitors for the other options to make a buying decision. If you're not asking for the sale when you're face-to-face with your client, but rather you're going back to your office and emailing your estimates 3 or 4 days later, your closing ratios are way lower than they could be. Now, if you're closing every sale and you're not seeing double-digit profits, you're winning the sale as on the lowest price. If you're using a time and material option for service repairs rather than a flat rate or menu system, your service department is very likely draining your bank account. How about your vision bubble? A company without a working business vision, which measures and tracks your goals, will oftentimes veer off to chasing shiny objects that don't fit your business and take away any cash flow in the business. In fact, it's pretty common for a small business owner to lose sight of one of the original reasons he or she started their dream business in the first place. Their dreams became a nightmare of bad debt, high interest credit cards, causing sleepless nights and unwanted stress. Let's look at your employee bubble. Having the wrong employees is the fastest way to drain your cash flow and spiral your business into financial ruins. All too often, employees are hired when a small business owner has sold and overpromise too much work and can't keep up. There was never any thought, or very little, of what will happen to the company's overhead and cash flow. Sometimes there was no cash flow to begin with, causing the owner to run up a line of credit just to cover payroll. I like to break employees into 3 categories. The first one is the 20% category. These employees are the ones who can do pretty much anything you ask. And if you don't take care of them, there's a high likelihood that they will become your next competitor. The second is the 50% category. These are the ones who are climbing the ladder, looking at the 20% thinking, someday I will be there. If you treat these ones right, they become your next superstars. The last group are the 30%. These are employees that are not experienced, and they probably cost you more than they make you. When things are slow, they're the first ones to go. The problem with so many small businesses, this 30% becomes 80%, and they become a boat anchor around the company's neck instead of the lifesaver they were hired for. Plus, take away any profits and burning up cash flow. Nightmares of client complaints and shoddy workmanship with callbacks, taking even more cash out of the company. So if your bubbles are not strong, it doesn't take much to pop them, does it? Sadly, you don't own your own economy, but rather you rely on the economy. Statistics just show that. An SBA report showed that 8 out of 10 entrepreneurs will fail in the next 18 months. A Bradley University study found that 46% of businesses set their prices on emotion rather than knowing their true costs. A stunning report from Dun & Bradstreet said that 80% of small businesses suffer from cash flow. If you have watched this video this far, you may be wondering, how strong are my bubbles in my business? Could this explain why there are months that I don't have the cash to pay all the bills, and even paying the minimum on credit cards? Maybe this explains why the checking account is like a roller coaster, which I'm getting a ride of my life that I don't want. Or worse yet, there's a black hole that I keep depositing money into, hoping there'll be enough to cover payroll. Or maybe your closing ratios are low, and it feels like the only jobs you get are based off the lowest price. Or maybe the fun of owning your own business is gone. You think back to the day you started your dream business. What happened? Why did it go this way? These are some of the most common questions or concerns I hear from business owners. Let's take a look at some of the companies who are having some of the same struggles you may be experiencing right now. This company was struggling with low closing ratios. Just 10 days after training, their closing ratio shot up to 90% with a 53% gross profit margin. Here's one, profits up 60% over the previous year. Here's another one, less than 90 days after implementation, a 500% increase in net profits. This company here has seen results in 30 days. Here's one that their average sales ticket tripled in profits. Each one of these companies had different obstacles of varying degrees. Yet each one has implemented the systems to keep their 4 bubbles strong and have shared their successes with you on how it changed their businesses. You may be wondering, will this work in my business? All I can say is this: if you're looking for more profit in your business, if you're looking for systems to help you get to the next level in your business, or if you're wondering if you own your own economy, here are my recommendations. At the end of this video, there's a link to a self-help evaluation where you can check for yourself how strong your economy is. Enter your name and email and get instant access to your self-help evaluation. It's easy and it's fast. Here's the best part. We are not going to hound you with any email campaigns or try call you. Rather, just the opposite. Once you have completed your self-help evaluation, you will decide. The proof will be in your evaluation. The only thing we will do is send you a thank you email with some options for you to consider after your evaluation. Thanks, and we'll talk to you soon.